and welcome back. I'm here today with Firewife Elise Vermillion to talk about fire family life and a guidebook that she wrote for Firewives. Hi, Elise.
Thank you so much for having me, Chelsi.
Thank you so much for being on the show. So tell me a little bit about yourself and your family.
All right. Well, I started off being a teacher. I taught for 8 years. During that time, met my husband, started with his academy classes at the junior college, and then got into Wildland for a little bit with the Forest Service, and then went back to the academy. And then he's done Cal Fire. He's done a small municipal department, and then he's now back with Cal Fire from the past few years. And then recently he just graduated and now he's an engineer. During that time, I had 3 kids in 18 months. So that was pretty crazy. So now I stay home with the kids, teaching with three under 2 at the time. It would just be a little much for me.
Trying to work and be a teacher with 3 kids in 18 months. So
I
did you have twins?
Twins. I had my first, and then I went back to work 6 months later, finished out the year, and then that next year I had twins. And so that's when I was like, this is too much. I can't teach with 3 under 2.
Was your husband working for Cal Fire at that time?
When I had the twins, he was doing the engineer academy. So he was in the academy and I had 3-month-old twins at home. So I did a 8-week stint by myself, basically. So we got through it.
Oh, wow.
We did it.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. So my kids were 5, 7, and 11 when my husband went through engineer academy. And I mean, not the same as having twins, that's for sure. But that was a long stretch of time for him to be gone and have that many kids at home. Like,
kids are so much more aware at that time too. That's hard too. And they have more activities. Hard. It's just different hard. It's season is just the hard changes.
Yeah. And I wasn't smart like you. I decided to keep working. So I was working full time and having 3 kids at home while my husband was gone. So in retrospect, I wish I wouldn't have done that. It was a lot.
The 2 to 3 cusp for me, it was like, if I had 2, I probably would have kept working. But the 3 with daycare, since they're all so close, it just pushed it over the edge. It's not worth it with the daycare cost.
No, and I didn't figure that out until my kids were teenagers, or at least the oldest was a teenager. And then I started designing my life more around fire life. So I really was resistant to being a stay-at-home mom and trying to conform, I guess. I was like, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to keep working. And then no, I'm like, I should have done it sooner. It was a lot.
And some people want to work. And that's great.
Yeah.
But for me, it'd be too much.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish I had figured it out. You're really smart. I wish I had figured that out about myself sooner. I would have been such a much more happy firewife and just person in general, because I was just stressed out. Like, it was just stressful. And especially since right after my husband got out of academy, was on all of the big fires hit in Lake County. So it was like one right after another. And not just being thrown into that with the kids, the ages they were. Hindsight's 2020, we're good now. Everybody's settled in and they're good. But that was a lot. So I can't even imagine having twins. What's that like?
Well, thank goodness they're good sleepers. Because if they weren't, I think that would really push me over the edge. They're pretty good. It's just, everybody wants mommy. And when you're the only one at home with a toddler and 2 babies, it's just, you're just needed all the time. So when they're all in bed at night, that's like, I made it through another day. We're good. And then you just do it all over again.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask the obvious question. Why did you write your guide? Tell me what your guide's about.
Because my husband did Forest Service and I've been around this life almost 10 years now. I'm kind of in the middle. I'm not super new. I'm not super veteran yet. I just feel like I had so much to share and I was getting the same questions from everyone. But what really kind of drove it home was when I was at the graduation for the engineer academy. They had little seminar where it was only the spouses and you could ask the questions. And all of the firewives were asking these questions, and I found myself wanting to answer all of them. Like, come talk to me, come talk, I can help, because they were mostly new.
Mhm.
They kind of started dating their firefighter when he was more established, where for me, I kind of grew up with him. He wasn't a firefighter, and then so I kind of knew all the back end. So I turned to the person next to me during this whole seminar and I was like, I think I'm going to write a book. I have so much knowledge. Maybe it's the teacher in me, but I have so much I want to share. And so that's kind of just where it started. And that was back in April or May. And so I started writing and editing it all through the summer and just put it out there.
Tell me a little bit about it.
So it's kind of for everyone. It's something I wish I would have had when I was brand new. So it covers the basics, understanding the job, the schedules, the forced overtime, kind of the basics. And then it goes into just practical things, how to transition when your firefighter's coming home, anywhere from practical skills on laundry, meal planning tips, your perspective, your own self care. Um, Kind of everything. I have some funny stories. One of my topics is the princess versus the pioneer woman. How when your husband's gone, like you got to be the pioneer woman. You have to do everything, even though you don't want to. And then when he comes home, I say, okay, you can lean into the princess role a little bit more. It kind of goes over everything. I also would recommend it for family members that maybe don't understand this life. It gives a little bit of insight about how fire families feel.
Yeah, that's definitely something that's missing. So, kind of closing that gap. That's really like my heart behind this podcast, and everything that I basically do is educating families and outsiders, really, because people don't understand if they don't live the life. And even within the system, there's different systems.
Mhm.
It's amazing to me how different each part of the industry is, because they're all doing basically the same job. It's just how the systems work around it. So, tell me a little bit about your experience in Wildland.
Wildland was like dating pre-kids. And so it's kind of funny for me to look back and think that was so hard because there was no kids involved. I was just by myself. But it was still hard. When he's gone on 2 to 3 week assignments, I was a teacher, so my summers were off. I wanted to hang out and travel and do all the things. And then I'm at home by myself when he's gone. So that was hard. I was very new to the life, and so was he. I went to a lot of weddings, a lot of birthday parties by myself, and everyone's asking you, when's he coming home? I don't know. I don't, the whole state's on fire. This was, 2018, the height of just, I don't know when he's coming home. And so I was just very lonely. I didn't know any other wildland spouses. He worked far away too. And so visiting him was like, you take that risk. Am I going to drive a couple hours? He could get a call and then you're just turning around. You know how it is. And so that was hard and we knew we wanted kids. And so for us, I just knew he knew too. We can't stay in wildland forever. It just wasn't for us. So that's when he kind of made the switch to get into the academy and try to go more municipal.
So he went municipal for a little while before he went back to Cal Fire. Or did he go Cal Fire first?
So he was on the B side of Cal Fire. And then he got an opportunity for a department closer to home. And so he did that academy. And that was like, oh, this is the golden opportunity. The grass is not always greener. And so then he went back to Cal Fire.
He's on Schedule A now.
Yeah. So
Okay.
he's working as a firefighter and now he's engineer. Yeah.
Yeah, we had that same kind of experience. Husband jumped from Cal Fire about a year and a half now, and it just wasn't for him. It was not structured enough. The grass is definitely not always greener.
Yeah. And my husband loves the action. And so being with just a small department, he wasn't getting that. It was just a nice, safe little area. And he was like, I want the fires. I want the crazy
Yeah.
stuff. And so he's much happier where he is now. So it was a good move for him.
I think we had to figure out that it was like, it's it's two different kinds of things, and you think that one's gonna be easier than the other, and then you find out that it isn't. Like,
Yeah.
it was kind of a letdown because we my husband is old and he is tired and he does not wanna go out on, 21-day assignments
Yeah,
anymore,
no.
He's over it. He's like, "I wanna spend time with my kids before they graduate high school. There's things we wanna do." And
Yeah.
so, at that time, he just made the decision. He was like, "I'm just gonna jump. I'm just gonna try to go back to a easier schedule," and then it just
Yeah.
was not for him.
Yeah.
And so, I think we should give, like, a little sneak peek into the book, like, give a tip that's in the book.
I think we do something what's called our State of the Union. And I think a lot of people call it is it reunification or like
Re-ent
reentry. There's all these different names. I
Yeah.
always call it the transition home. And so we do something called the State of the Union, and that is our designated meeting. It's almost run like a business because if you don't set aside that time, especially with three little ones, life just happens and then all these things just go missing. And so in the guide, I have an actual principle, and it's kind of funny, but if you're at all miscommunicating in your marriage, I highly recommend it because it has questions. It's broken down into us. How are we doing? What do you need? What do I need? And then there's a home. This broke. We need to go get this. We're out of this, whatever it could be that needs to be fixed in the home. And then kind of the family. So when the babies are younger, their schedules are constantly changing. And so you have to catch them up on that. When they're gone for 3 to 4 days, a lot happens when you have kids in a home and a life. And so we designate time, usually when all the kids are down that first night, usually ice cream or cookies or some treat is involved. We sit down, no phones, and we have our meeting. And so we feel caught up.
We've done something similar, not so much now because the kids are older and they have all their own things. So now we just have a shared family calendar and everybody puts their stuff in it and we make sure we're checking it
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
So, um, and house projects are never ending when you own a home. So we're
Yes.
constantly in some kind of house project.
Just get the to-do list like done for a second. Like just
Yep.
finish on the little odds and ends.
So once in a while, the husband will just come to me and be like, "Okay, so here's the project list. What's the priority?" So he'll have number of 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever.
Yes.
And then he'll start on one and then finish it and then move on. Sometimes that doesn't work out the way that
Yeah.
I'd like it to. The priorities don't always stay what we want them to.
Yeah.
And I think that's like one of the bigger things about this lifestyle is we have to be flexible and just roll with the punches.
Yes. It's funny you say flexible. I was just laughing with my husband because in one of my little tips, I'm such a natural like planner, organizer by nature. And so in Wildland, they used to say, you can't be flexible, that's too rigid. Like you have to be fluid. And so that was a whole mind shift. It's like we're fluid, it's fine, everything's changing. We're just gonna roll with it. And so that's still hard. Even though I've had years of experience, it's still plans are always changing.
Yeah, I gave that up a long time ago. Like,
You have
whatever
to.
happens, happens at this point. There's no plans.
No.
So really,
Yeah.
we'll just go
Have
with the
one.
flow. We'll do it,
Yeah,
whatever comes up.
yeah. It's good to be more spontaneous. I've noticed that it's especially hard around the holidays because you have that
Yeah.
extended family with, is he home for Christmas? Are you doing this? And so it's like the outside that want you to make the plans and you're like, wait, we can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just definitely roll with it.
And I think too, I look at other families at Christmas and I'm like, God, I wish that our family could do all of the things, but we can't. There's years that he can go to the Christmas parade in town and there's years that he can't. And I always find myself like being a little jealous and I'm like, no, 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 no. Like
Mhm.
there's no need for that.
Yeah. No,
So
it's definitely hard. Yeah, I because you see all the people with, like, traditions. Every year we do this, and it's like, we can't do that. So it's kind of
yeah.
just when it works, and when it doesn't, and that's okay. Since he was in the academy, we celebrated Easter, like, a week and a half early because he was gonna be gone,
Oh,
and I'm like, "You know what? Like, I have a toddler, like, we're dyeing Easter eggs today, you know? Who cares about the date?" So and it ended up being such a fun day. So yeah, celebrate when you can.
I literally put the Christmas tree up in October this year because he was, like, gonna be working the entire month in November, and I like to have my Christmas tree up the day after Thanksgiving, and I'm like, "There's no way that it's gonna get up, like, you're gonna be gone," and I'm like, "We're just gonna do it." So we did
Yeah.
it literally, I think it was October 31st. We put the Christmas tree up, and 'cause there's been years where it's been, like, a week before Christmas, and we still don't have a Christmas tree up.
Yeah.
This year, I sent him a message and I was like, "When are we putting up the Christmas tree?" He's like, "I was just thinking about that. We should do it this weekend." I'm like, "Really?" So
I
yeah.
love that. I've heard a lot about the whole identity thing coming up a lot, about how I feel like people are almost getting mad at Firewives for making it their identity or something. It's like this big issue that people have, and I'm not really sure why.
I think it's interesting. I feel like it's coming from within the fire service more than it's outside the fire service, and I think it's coming from salty firefighters, if we're being completely honest.
And it's hard because it's not like we, as Firewives, try to do it, but every decision we make, at least for me, it's because our husband is in this career. And so everything revolves around it, whether you like it or not. And so it does become a little bit of a part of you. I always say, like, why don't we hang out with our friends every Saturday? Well, we can't. My husband's a firefighter. Like, we can't hang out every Saturday. Why aren't we, as a family, going to church every Sunday morning? Well, you can't do something every Sunday morning because, he's working. And so it's just crazy. Like, with work, if kids get sick at school, like, why do I have to miss work? Well, my husband's 2 hours away at his station. He can't just come home. And so it's like every little decision, every little thing kind of, it just naturally wraps around this career.
Yeah, and I think it is part of your identity whether you like it or not, like,
Yeah,
might as well stop fighting it.
exactly. And I'm like,
Because
it's easier just to kinda lean into it, because I feel like before I kind of just went all in, I had a lot more resentment, and again, that jealousy, how it's like, well, they get to hang out with their friends every weekend, and so it's just that whole mindset shift of they want to be at things, they want to be home. I think if you just kinda accept the job and accept that part of you.
so when you finally did accept it and, like, how did your husband feel about that?
I feel like it was more, like, internally. It wasn't like a I knew it was something, like, I had to fix, because when we started he was with Forest Service for, like more wildland, like 2 to 3 years, and I just found myself getting just, like, mad every time I had to go somewhere alone, and I'm like, "Okay, say this is his career forever, I'm gonna live my life just, like, mad all the time, like, that's so sad," and so I knew I had to just shift it, "Okay, we'll plan something for when he's home." So, yeah, it was kinda just something more, like, internal, not exactly, like, external, I guess?
But did he notice that there was a shift?
I'm not sure, I haven't actually asked him that. But I think also
So
during that time, he was trying to switch to municipal, and so it was also that whole shift too, and that was a lot better for me, even though the 4872s, they're still hard, it was for me, it's better than, 2 or 3 weeks,
right.
just different challenges.
I don't know how I would do absolutely 2 to 3 weeks, like, all the time. And we just recently did a podcast with another Wildland, wife, and she was saying that he has, like, a 10-hour-a-day job. So it's like when he is home, he's not really home, and
Yeah.
then during peak fire season, he's not home at all.
When my husband was with more wildland, his station was so far that on those 10-hour, 8-hour workdays, he wouldn't come home. So he was gone Monday through Friday. He comes home Friday night, and then you're getting ready again Sunday night to start over again.
And then who knows what's happening all over the country too, because Wildland, they go pretty much everywhere, right?
Yeah, yeah, he was up in Alaska, he was in Colorado, he's done all over California, Oregon. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, I don't that's a whole different, like
Yeah,
when I start to feel sorry for myself with Cal Fire, I'm like, "I think we're good."
yeah. And then they're
Um,
home for, like, 3 months solid, and you're like, You need a
Right?
hobby.
I wouldn't like that. I like it when he's on his vacation time because now
Oh,
with the schedule the way it is, you take 1 shift off and you have basically 2 weeks. So,
yeah,
I it's
that's nice.
nice, but after the 2 weeks, I'm like, "Will you go away? I wanna watch my shows, and I
Yeah,
wanna eat
that
girl food, and I want starfish in the bed."
that shift is hard, the making every decision, doing whatever you want, and then it's like, "Oh, what do you wanna watch or what do you wanna do?" Yeah.
Yeah, and that's, like, really interesting. I've had this question for, like, the last 6 months. I'm like, "Why is it so much harder when they're home sometimes?"
I have a little blurb about that in the guide because that was also part of my perspective. I'm like, why isn't it just so much easier when they come home? I have 3 little kids. It should be cutting the workload in half. It should feel so much easier than it is. And obviously, a lot of parts are, but it's more food you need to prepare. It's more dishes. It's more stuff. It's more energy. It's just more, which is good. It's awesome when he's home, but it's like, it's not automatically, like, easy peasy, what you kind of
No.
expect it to be. It's not like that.
It's not like that, and it's also I think I say this without sounding rude. It's also trying to figure out where they fit, like,
Yeah,
how they fit into it, how they help, how much they help, and sharing the load and not being responsible, like, I feel like when my husband comes home, he's great, like, I don't have any complaints, but you're
yeah.
right, like, there's more food, there's more laundry, there's more
The laundry, yes. Forgot
the
more laundry.
laundry is like especially
Yes.
with 5 people in your house. It's kinda like, I have a college-age child, and it's kinda like when he comes home. There's just
Mm,
more
more. Just more.
by default. But then when your spouse is home, you expect things to kinda be more easy, like you were saying, but it can't always be. They don't always have the capacity to be helping or they're
Right,
tired. They had a long shift. They've been
right.
gone for 21 days, whatever it is. And they come home and they're exhausted. So how can I then expect them to do more at home?
No.
It's weird.
No. Like, go take a
And
nap.
I've been doing this for 18 years. So even I feel like sometimes it's harder when he's home. And it's not because I don't want him here. It's just because it's just a lot, you know? Um,
Yeah, I know, I feel like they kinda walk around like, "Okay, what do you what do you want me to be doing right now?"
yeah, and that's where that priority list really comes in handy because he doesn't have to ask me anymore because we have it kind of down. I started meal planning about 2 years ago, and I started putting his day to cook on the meal plans. He knows on this day I'm cooking and I'm responsible for the whole thing. So that's been really helpful because we don't even have to talk about it anymore because there's a meal plan, all the family can see it. He knows that on Saturday night he's cooking or whatever. But if I know he's been out on a fire or something the night before he comes home and he's gonna need extra rest, then obviously
Yeah.
we adjust
You
that.
can
But
tell in their eyes when they come home. Like, "Can I expect you to do something or you need to go take a nap right now?" Just
right.
that look
Well,
on their face.
and I ask him every day how he slept the night before so that I can kind of gauge, oh, he got a lot of sleep while he was away or he got little sleep. And he's always asking me too, like, how did you sleep? And so we kind of know how well rested we are before he gets here. So then I can be like, okay, he's had a really long shift. He's going to need extra rest. And so no pressure. I don't really keep my expectations very high when I know he's been really busy at work.
Yeah. "Oh, we had 20 calls today." I'm like, "Oh, great."
That's
You're
the
exhausted.
worst. It's been a long time since my husband's been at a really busy place where he's ran a lot of calls because he's been in command and control for quite a while. Um, and so he hasn't been going from incident to incident. He's been in command and control since 2019, roughly.
Wow.
So
So it's, like, a little different.
he's back out in the field. So, but right now it's not obviously busy because it's winter, but we'll see what the summer holds. But so I haven't like, but when he was at a busy station, you're right. Like they come home and you can tell, or he'd be sitting here with us watching a show with the kids or hanging out, and all of a sudden he's sleeping. And it
Mhm.
used to really make me upset. It's like you're home, you need to be present. Like I'm expecting him to like be dad, and now I'm like he
Yeah.
needs to rest. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to, like, schedule in that rest time.
Well, that and I think that's where a Firewife guide would have been really helpful back in
Yeah.
2008 when I
No, 'cause
married my
yeah, when I was
husband.
starting out, I was actually, like, seeking things out too, and I would see comments on Instagram from other firewives, and I would see people write, like, "There's no guide on how to do this, like, how do we do this?" And I was like, "You're right. Why isn't there a guide on how to do this? There's a ton of resources for firefighters, but what about the other half? What about us?" I just figured I'd put one out there. And there was also a lot of books on the very serious things, all of the PTSD, the deaths, all the important but kind of crazy things. And I just wanted something that was more like just the day to day. Like, I know those things exist, but what about like a meal? What about how to do the laundry and how to keep up with the house cleaning and just how to keep up with everything by yourself? So there just wasn't anything like that out there.
No, there really isn't. I've always kind of felt like things were either really heavy or really impractical. Like, there
Yeah.
was never a really good happy medium, especially for Cal Firewives. Let's be real, because they spend so much time at the station or they spend so much time on a fire. And God, it would have been really nice
Yeah.
in 2008 when I married my husband if somebody would have just handed me a book and said, "Here you go. This is
Yeah.
what you're going to experience. This is what he's going through." There just wasn't. And so we just really had to learn as we went along. And that's not the best way.
Yeah, you didn't have, all these Facebook groups and Instagram groups back in 2008. There wasn't it feels lonely now. I can't imagine 2008 even more so how lonely.
Well, and I feel like people really wanted to like suck it up. You're going to be, it's fine. Like, I'm just like, but that's not my experience. I'm not fine. I don't want to suck it up. And everything that I went to, it was like about their PTSD and their experience and their stuff. And it's like, why is that? That's not my responsibility. I mean, obviously, it's good to see the signs and know what's going on. But then where's my support?
Yeah.
Like, where do I fit into this puzzle?
Yeah.
And so that was really tough. It was really tough. And then eventually we did get a Facebook group and it became, for me at least, a little bit too dramatic.
Yeah, it's a lot. And it can just be a lot of downer comments and downer posts, and it's like, yeah, it's super hard. Like it is. Um, but I want to also like encourage people, with this guy. Like it is possible. You can do it. Try and find some joy or else you're gonna have a super miserable time your whole life, his whole career. And we don't want that.
Mhm. For me, it was really finding something that I was passionate about, like finding a hobby, and then just the mind shift of I get to be home with my kids rather than I have to be home with my kids, or I get to go do these things rather than I have to go do these things. The mindset shift was where it was at for me. And it took me a really long time to get there, not gonna lie. And we went through some stuff. We were in the thick of it for a really long time. So I'm really excited about your guide. I think it's wonderful that somebody finally was like, I'm just gonna do this.
Throw out some tips.
Yeah. And it's nice that you have the perspective that you could write it for everyone. I mean, I have a secret wish that we could write a guide specifically for Academy for Cal Firewives because I feel like it would be really
Yes.
helpful to get that into their hands. Is there anything that you would like to add before we wrap it up?
No, I hope I can be an encouragement, a friend, a sister to anyone who needs it. Never hesitate to like reach out. Send me a message if you're struggling, and then definitely find your community, which has taken me a long time, but I'm finally starting to get into some mom groups. They're not all necessarily firewives, but just people you can just hang out with and chat with when your husband's on shift. I just hope I can be there for you and be your firewife friend.
Where do people find you?
I am the Firewife Guide on Instagram, and then my Firewife Guide's on Etsy, but it's easier just to go to my Instagram and all the links are right there.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show, Elise. This was fantastic. And I really hope that people will check out the guide. I'm going to go ahead and put all of that information in the show notes. So it's there for you to find.
Great.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
being
so
here.
much.